Welcome to The Explainer. You know, prepping for the SAT can feel like you're staring up at this impossibly huge mountain. But what if I told you there's a map to the top and it only takes about 5 minutes to understand? Well, let's start that climb. So today, we're basically going on a quest to conquer the SAT. And this, right here, this is our map. First, we're going to figure out what the SAT even is. Then, we'll build a study plan that actually works for you. Find the best tools for the job, learn how to dodge those common mistakes, and finally get you totally ready to crush it on test day. All right, every good quest starts with knowing your enemy, right? So before we jump into strategy, let's get a really clear picture of the SAT itself and, why it even matters for college. Okay, so at its heart, the SAT is just a standardized test. The whole idea is to give colleges a common yardstick. Think about it. They're looking at students from thousands of different high schools, all with different classes, different teachers, different grading. This is supposed to give them one way to see everyone on a level playing field. So let's break down the numbers. The whole thing takes about 2 hours and 14 minutes. You've got two main parts, reading and writing, and then math. But here's where it gets really interesting. The test is adaptive. That means you do one section, and based on how you perform, the next section you get will either be harder or a little easier. So doing well right out of the gate can actually unlock the tougher questions, which is your path to a higher score. It's kind of like a video game. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? After all this work, all this prep, how much do these numbers actually move the needle when it comes to getting into your dream school? Let's dig in.
The real answer is, well, it's not that simple. Honestly, how much your score matters is all over the place. Some super competitive schools definitely want to see high scores, but a lot of places are test optional now, and almost every school looks at your whole application, your grades, your essays, your activities. The most important thing to remember is this: your score is just one piece of the puzzle. It is definitely not the whole story of who you are.
Okay, now that we know what we're up against, it's time to create our battle plan. This is where we forge a personalized study strategy that makes this whole thing feel way less overwhelming. Look, this is all about studying smarter, not just harder. And this 6-step plan is the perfect way to do it. You start by picking a test date. That gives you a real deadline. Then you take a practice test to see where you're starting from. After that, you figure out what score you're aiming for, plan your time accordingly, and get your materials. See how that works? It's a logical path, turning a giant goal into small, totally doable steps. And check this out. Here's a brilliant tip from a student on Reddit. They say to keep a log of not just the questions you get wrong, but why you got them wrong. This is a total game changer. It turns every single mistake from something frustrating into a signpost that tells you exactly what you need to work on next. Every hero needs the right gear for the quest, right? Well, the good news is you don't need a ton of money to get the best prep tools for the SAT. Let's look at what should be in your arsenal. Okay, pretty much everyone agrees you've got to start with the official stuff, the College Board's Blue Book app and Khan Academy. I mean, they're made by the same folks who make the actual test, so that's a no-brainer. If you need more practice, a lot of students love UWorld and the Princeton Review. And for those subjects that are really tripping you up, you can grab specialized guides like College Panda for math or Erica Meltzer for the reading and writing stuff. You know, this comment from another student really says it all. There's this idea floating around that you have to spend a fortune to do well. But honestly, if you just use the fantastic free resources from the College Board and Khan Academy the right way, you have everything you need to get an amazing score. The path to a great SAT score is kind of like a video game level. It's filled with hidden traps that can snag anybody. So knowing what they are is the absolute best way to avoid them. So trap number 1 is the simplest and also the most painful. Just a careless math mistake. When you're under pressure, it's so easy to do. The fix? Just slow down. Seriously, writing out your steps isn't because you don't know how to do the math. It's about creating a safety net so that pressure doesn't steal easy points from you. The next big trap is misreading the question, usually because you're rushing. The SAT words things very, very carefully.
A great trick is to practice active reading. That's where you actually underline the main point of the question before you even look at the answer choices. It forces you to focus on what they're really asking. And the final trap is that dreaded analysis paralysis. The test is packed with tempting wrong answers. They're called distractors for a reason. They're designed to make you doubt yourself. The key is to trust your prep. Eliminate the answers that are obviously wrong, go with your gut on the best one that's left, and move on. Don't let them suck you in. So all the studying, all the planning, all the practice, it all leads to this moment, the final boss battle. Let's talk about how to walk into that testing center feeling cool, calm, and totally ready. A successful test day actually starts the night before, just by getting all your stuff together. Double-check that your device is charged up with Blue Book installed. Have your actual physical ID and a printed admission ticket ready. Pack some pencils, an approved calculator, a watch, and this is crucial, pack snacks and a drink. You need that brain fuel during the break. And this just shows you how critical your mental game is. Get this, the College Board, the people who make the SAT, they actually partner with the JED Foundation, a mental health nonprofit, to give students strategies for anxiety. If the test makers themselves are telling you to focus on staying calm, you know it's a huge piece of the puzzle. And take this advice from Brittany, a college student who's been through it. If you're in the test and you feel your mind going blank, just pause. Seriously, take a deep breath. That's not wasted time. That's a strategic reset to clear your head and let all that amazing prep work you did come flooding back. So in the end, after all of this, it's really all about perspective. The SAT is just one test on one day. It's not a measure of your worth, it's an opportunity. So the final question isn't really about what score you're going to get. It's this: how are you going to use this moment to show them what you're really capable of?